All right, today we're going to talk about a story that absolutely blew up online recently. The idea of a hidden world, a whole city tucked away right under the most famous monuments on Earth. Now, just a quick heads up, we're diving into this for the fun of it, for the mystery. So think of it less as a history lesson and more as a really cool what if. So, listen for fun and let's see where this story takes us.
So let's just jump right in with the big question. Just think about it for a second. What if, for literally thousands of years, there's been a secret city just sitting there, dormant, right underneath the Giza pyramids? It's a pretty wild thought, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like the plot of an Indiana Jones movie, for sure. But in early 2025, a team of researchers came forward and claimed they had found exactly that. A discovery that could rewrite history, hidden just out of sight. Okay, so let's get the names straight. In March of 2025, these three researchers, Corrado Malanga, Filippo Biondi, and Armando May, they made an announcement that, if it were true, would totally change everything we thought we knew about ancient Egypt. They were claiming to have proof of something extraordinary.
And here's where it gets just wild. The scale of what they were claiming to have mapped is mind-boggling. This wasn't just some small hidden room. They were talking about 5 huge structures right near the base of the Khafre pyramid. Then 8 massive vertical shafts plunging deep into the earth, complete with spiral pathways. And at the bottom of those shafts, 2 gigantic cube-shaped empty spaces. But the craziest part? They said it was all connected by a tunnel network that stretched for 2 kilometers under all 3 pyramids. A whole underground city.
Let's just hang on this number for a second. 648 meters. That's over 2,100 feet deep. To put that in perspective, that's like taking 2 Eiffel Towers, stacking them on top of each other, and then burying the whole thing. The sheer scale of what they were proposing was just staggering. So you have to ask, right? How could something that huge go completely unnoticed for thousands of years? Well, according to them, it was all because they were using this revolutionary new kind of technology.
They used something called synthetic aperture radar, or SAR, but their version was different. They claimed that instead of just trying to blast signals through solid rock, their technique analyzed these tiny, almost imperceptible micro-vibrations. So it's less like trying to see through the rock and more like listening for the rock's heartbeat, using its tiny vibrations to map out all the empty spaces hidden inside.
And this is really what supposedly set their method apart. See, normal ground-penetrating radar? It can only see a few meters down, tops. It just doesn't have the juice. But by analyzing these micro-vibrations using satellite data, Biondi and Malanga claimed they could just bypass that limit entirely and see hundreds of meters deep.
And here's the thing, this idea that the pyramids might have some hidden high-tech purpose, it's not new, not at all. In fact, this latest claim fits right into this long, really fascinating history of alternative theories. Probably the most famous of all of them comes from a guy named Christopher Dunn. Back in 1998, he wrote a book called The Giza Power Plant, and in it, he laid out this really radical idea that has just captivated people for decades. Dunn's whole argument was that the Great Pyramid was never meant to be a tomb. He saw it as a machine, a kind of power plant built to harness the natural vibrations of the Earth itself, resonating at specific frequencies to generate enormous amounts of energy. He even had theories about the Queen's Chamber being used to produce hydrogen gas. And these kinds of unconventional ideas just keep on coming. Even more recently, another scientist, Simon Andreas Schering, proposed that the pyramid was a different kind of machine, one that was actually designed to build itself from the inside out, using this really clever system of internal ramps. So look, these are all incredibly fascinating ideas. They really push the boundaries of what we think is possible.
But, after exploring all this, you have to ask yourself the big question. Is any of it actually true? Well, as soon as this new radar discovery hit the internet, it was like throwing fuel on a fire. It got picked up immediately by conspiracy-focused outlets like the Reese Report. They started connecting the dots back to the Giza power plant theory, speculating that these underground structures could be energy conduits, or maybe even parts of some ancient superweapon.
But then, the professional fact-checkers at Snopes decided to take a look. And that's when the whole story just completely fell apart. Their official rating? False. Turns out there wasn't a single credible scientific paper, no peer review, absolutely no verifiable evidence to back any of it up.
And when you dig in, the red flags just keep popping up. Not one single reputable news organization reported on this supposedly groundbreaking discovery. The story was being pushed almost entirely by known conspiracy theorists. And here's the real kicker. Some of those super compelling radar images that were being shared, analysis showed they had a 99.9% chance of being generated by AI.
And then came the final nail in the coffin, really. The definitive word from probably the most famous Egyptologist on the planet, the legendary Dr. Zahi Hawass. And he did not mince words. He confirmed that no permits were ever given for this kind of research, no new radar was used inside the pyramid like they claimed, and to put it simply, those underground structures, they just don't exist. He called it a total fabrication. So, okay, the underground city isn't real. Case closed. But that kind of brings up a bigger and I think much more interesting question. Why are we so ready to believe these stories? What is it about the pyramids that just invites this kind of wild speculation?
I mean, these structures are maybe the greatest monuments to human ingenuity ever built. So when we hear these alternative theories, are they sort of chipping away at that incredible achievement? Or, in a weird way, are they just adding another layer to the profound awe and wonder we feel when we look at them?
And that's really the thought I want to leave you with. Do we keep looking for these hidden secrets buried in the sand because we think the full truth is still out there, just waiting for us to find it? Or is it because we just really, really want it to be?